Hey guys, it occurs to me that maybe not everybody's familiar with what I'm talking about when I say using ink to, dull the color or emphasize detail or basically add another dimension to the paint that you've done as an alternative to dipping or some other types of color. Anyway, not advertising for pledge here, just kind of trying to give you an idea what I'm talking about in plain English, or as close as I can get to it. Anyway, these are just dollar store ink refill kits for printer cartridges, and nothing special. I just was looking for ink, and I don't have all the colors here. I think I'm missing red, but anyway, you get the idea. Just basically what I did was, for any one of the colors that I wanted, kind of had to go back to the old elementary school days with the color mixing charts. I don't know, some of you may have a current reason to remember how to mix primary colors to come up with, any color in the spectrum, but for me I had to kind of go back and revisit that. But basically all these are is future floor wax, a little water, and ink. So believe it or not, this is actually yellow. I know it looks more like red or orange in the video. Anyway, sort of blue. And this I actually used for the gray nights after you do the bolt metal or mithril silver. They recommend touching them up with a little blue ink. I went ahead and used this kind of a concoction. Green, of course. If you don't use the Games Workshop ink for orcs, then this kind of works out pretty well. And then of course just brown. First one I looked at, by the way, was black. I figured that's probably pretty evident. Anyway, so brown, that was kind of a fun one, trying to get that right. And by altering it a little bit, you can get a little more of a red brown or a dark brown, however you want to go. You just have to keep adjusting the colors. Anyway, so these two actually were provided to me by my local game shop. Just had to buy the containers, and that really got me introduced to using the inks, and just thought it was a great tip, and I wanted to share it. Anyway, can't tell you how much it adds to the models. Usually what I'll do is excuse me, usually what I'll do is base coat the model with the color that I'm using, and then I will go over it with the appropriate ink, and then reapply the base coat after that, just making sure to avoid the recesses or wherever that ink has accumulated. And then basically, you can move to the highlight stage. This is kind of an example. It's an older model, at least I should say. It's one that I did a long time ago. I never really got around to painting it, or I should say I never really got around to finishing the paint job on it. But I think you could probably see, even with this camera, it really brings out the details, the small, recesses of the face. This is all kind of green stuff, basically. The tabard, and a little tabard on the side there, the weapon. Anyway, it's not, the paint job's not complete. I just can't seem to bring myself to complete this. But anyway, it's just a librarian I made for my Blood Ravens army. But yeah, so hopefully you can see that, the way it brings out the detail. And this yellow may look bright on this, I'm not really sure. It was very bright. It was lemon yellow from the Reaper line, which if any of you are familiar with that, that's very bright yellow. But after applying a couple of coats of ink, I think it brought it down nicely. So anyway, that's just kind of my take on inks and future floor wax. Anybody else who has an opinion on that, please feel free to leave a comment or tell me anything I may have forgotten or add anything to it. But hey, thanks guys.